Well, hello, fellow traveler. Come on in, sit for a spell. Let's have a conversation with the cards. I had an inspiration come through that was inspired by land. By land. A piece of land that you can find in Lancaster, California. It's called the Antelope Valley Poppy Preserve. And it's like looking into a sea of Elysium fields. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. I've never actually physically been there, but I happened across it as I was searching for something else online, ironically. And I've just been captivated by the photos ever since, and that piece of land's really been calling me. And I started thinking about the interconnectedness of everything and how we're so tapped in energetically at all times to everything that's whirling about this world of ours, even though we don't recognize it, how much energy we really all are holding. And then it made me think about that need for grounding that came in the portal report last night, and how important it is to connect with a piece of land. A piece of land that seems to be calling you. There's a lot of grounding to be found there, a lot of rooting to be found there, but there's also a lot that can be received from the land itself, communication that can be received from the land. And you don't even necessarily have to physically go there, although of course that would be ideal, but you can travel there in the mind. You can journey there in your meditations. You can still connect energetically with a piece of land. This energy coming through. I really wanted to tap in and do an energy read, a medicine read for the collective, to just see where's the collective energy body at, what's coming up for us, what's going on. And this came in Antelope Valley Poppy Preserve in Lancaster, California. And I think of Lancaster and it makes me think Landcaster. That the land itself is emitting a frequency. It's casting out a frequency. A particular piece of land is casting out its frequency to you. It wants you to touch base with it. It wants you to touch ground there. Even if you have to do so at a distance, it could be that a piece of land is calling you. A piece of land you've never been to before, perhaps a country you've always wanted to travel to. There's something there. There's something about the energy signature of this piece of land. You're meant to tap into it. It will reveal something to you. It is a little bit of surrealistic journeying here coming in. Now, of course, I have to take in the full scope when I look at Antelope Valley Poppy Preserve. It makes me think of the medicine connected to poppy itself. Poppy is a nervine. It helps soothe, it helps calm. Poppy is also an opiate. It has the qualities of the moon and Neptune planetarily. So we do have this interesting energy going on with Neptune in Aries right now, very fiery, initiative kind of energy. And we've been talking about the need for tempering. Poppies are connected to water elemental. So the water is in the fire elemental right now. It's the transmutation point, and it's actually a time when the lines between dream and reality are really blurred and seen for what they are, one and the same. What is dreamed is also reality on some plane of existence, on some plane of interdimensional awareness. And so this energy coming in, there's a lot of metaphorical symbolisms attached to the poppy too, a lot of different mythos that is connected to poppy. We have the stories of Morpheus, who is a god of both sleep and dreams. And not only that, but is also a bit of a psychopomp kind of energy, can act as an intermediary in transitional states. We've been having a lot of this intermediary energy come in, psychopop energy come in. We had that come in with the owl. This intermediary energy, very, very present. And there's different colors that come in association with poppy, and they each hold a different kind of medicine. Red poppies symbolize like the bloodline, the roots. And white poppies symbolize transformation and the great transformation when we move beyond the veil into the great sleep. When we are ushered through that doorway of death, and also the symbolic deaths, the metaphoric deaths that we experience in our lives when we go through really heavy times of transition. And then there's the orange, which I really consider like a great awakener energy. It's that thing that helps us tap into the very essence of life, or what is known as ojas in Ayurvedic tradition, that which really nurtures the heart and the whole being. It's also very much connected with success, moving into a period of radiance. And there's also a sense of prosperity that is connected with the poppy because of the many seeds it holds. There's just fields upon fields upon fields of Elysium dreams when we look at a single poppy there. And it reminds me, again, elaborating on the message that came in on the portal report last night, that piece about the mouse medicine, the details, the small things can be big things. You hold Elysium Fields in your hands right now. There's something you hold, something that's about to bloom for you. It seems like it's a small thing. It's a thing that will grow many fields of dreams for you. There's also the connection to more of the underworld energies that does come in with poppy. We have the connection to the goddess Nyx, the goddess of the night, and the beauty and the light and the brilliance that's to be found there when we think of all those beautiful stars scattered across the sky, like glimmering jewels lit up by the luminescence of the moon. And then also the energy of Demeter, but Demeter in her grieving over Persephone, who had to be exiled down in Hades because she partook of those pomegranate seeds. But there's debate if Persephone really was sort of whisked there against her will. I feel like she wanted to go there. There's things that she needed to discover there. It's also the source of her empowerment. And during her time of being apart from her mother Demeter, it's said that she was given poppies to help soothe her grief. So there's very much this kind of medicine there that's held within poppy, but there's also the quality of pleasure, and pleasure that comes through sensual awareness. And that's not just sensual on an intimate level, whether you experience that intimacy with yourself or with another, but it's also sensual coming through the senses itself, that the senses we have, they are a pleasure. There's something about your senses starting to be heightened. You're starting to recognize that the truly spiritual experience is not to disconnect, but to go further within the body, to really have an in-bodied experience instead of trying to always escape this shell. There is something there that really needs to be grasped, that helps to tap one into a quality of gratitude that is key right now in alerting grace within your life, that you are receptive to receiving what wants to rush towards you at this time. You see, because when it comes to antelope medicine, whereas poppy is the moon, antelope is the sun. Antelope is the active force. Antelope represents speed, agility in many different cultures across the globe. It's a messenger from the spirit world. Also serves as a psychopomp in some cultural traditions. Can be messages as well connected to your bloodline. So there's this interesting tie-in that comes in with Poppy. You see the interconnectedness of all things. Little things don't seem like much. You can look at something like a beautiful picture of antelope poppy reserve online and just sort of skim over it, think, oh, that's pretty. Or you can really connect with it in a different way, something that lands in your body a little bit differently and makes you more curious about this place. And then as you start to look deeper into it, that is that meticulousness of the mouse medicine, it helps you grok more information from it. You unlock a secret language. You see what's coming in here. It's the interrelation of all things. It's really what's wanting to come through in the collective consciousness right now. Antelope comes in during rites of passage, during times of great transition, and can be a guardian as you go through those gateways of initiation. It also brings a very important message to be watchful for Spirit's provision. There is something that is being provided for here. There is some gift that you're receiving. And the gratitude through the watchfulness and recognizing the beauty of creation that's all around you right now, especially when you connect elementally. There's something there for you that secures what is already provided. It's just waiting for you to open up to receive it. You also have the speed and the agility to navigate a fast-paced situation that's going to be coming your way. Antelope signifies rapid spiritual transformation. This is when you can be in one state one day and the next day you're in a completely different frame of mind. This is also really balancing the responsibility that comes with your independence and also the responsibility that comes with your connection to greater community here. Really balancing this out. But this is a time when dreams can become reality. And it's important that when you start to receive this message, this input from life itself speaking to you about what you now need to do, a message of purposeful action is coming in. It's important that you move quickly. You move quickly while you have grace and speed and alertness on your side. Okay. It's pretty potent energy. If antelope was to be associated with an archetype in the tarot, I would equate it with strength. The strength to overcome that which challenges you. If you want to look at it in terms of planetary polarities, I would say, of course, Poppy is the moon and antelope is the sun. Poppy is the feminine and antelope is the masculine. So these energies are coming in to be worked with however you choose to work with them. So explore these symbols, these archetypes, you could say. But these are things that you can actually interact with. You can pull this medicine in and it will teach you something. It will show you something. It can be as simple as watching something like the Discovery Channel show on antelope, and you'll be amazed at what it can teach you about your own path and how to navigate what you're facing. Okay. Also, like I said in the opener, just really be aware of a parcel of land that's calling you. Okay, baseline energy. We're looking more at South Node matters right now. There's a need to really get rooted right now in order to be able to hold what wants to come in to align you with the North Node. It's really essential that we get really grounded out here in order to support this transformation. Coming in at 14:22 on the clock. Temperance energy. Temperance energy, but it's also coming in with the well from the Ethereal Visions Tarot. Let me pull out that card. Yeah, see, there's a bridge that we have to cross. And there's timeliness around this. We've been getting this message. There's a need to act swiftly because the bridge is only there. that juncture point is only there for a very finite moment in time. You have to recognize it in the moment too. It's almost like getting over a particular stream of consciousness that carries you down into the same self node cycle again. There's something you need to capture in the moment here to make the connection. It does come in with the 8 of Waters, so it's like the 8 of Cups energy, that thing that needs to be moved away from. And once you cross this particular stretch of timeline, is how it's coming through. It's like stretch of timeline. There's no going back there. That's something that you're transcending, a particular time and space. But let me get this card out from the Ethereal Visions Tarot for the well, because I really want to bring this on through. I think it has meaning here. The well is number 22 in this deck. And of course, that is the creation of a new major arcana. I really connected with the deepest well of Danu, Anu, Anad, known by many different names, many different traditions. Danu is a more modern, speculated modern translation of that kind of primordial goddess energy within the Gaelic tradition of fairy. But there's a lot of mystery around Danu, and there's also other Danus in different cultural traditions as well, which I find quite fascinating. So there's this real enigma around Danu. So she's often associated with wells, and when I think of the wells and I think of Danu and the fact that she is such a mystery and there is so little known. Same with Anu and Anand. I mean, there's so much that is really passed on through oral tradition when it comes to certain lineages of spirituality. Here it is. But whenever I think of the well, I always think of the deepest well of Danu, because once you dive into that well of wisdom, you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. It's bottomless. It's absolutely bottomless. You never thirst, because there's always a thirst for more knowledge, to know more, to see a bit more into the mystery. And it takes you to some really deep places, and you start to spot the interconnection also cross-culturally, which is really such a beautiful thing as you start to dive into the roots also of different spiritual traditions. And it's a beautiful connecting point. But there's something here that you're going to be tapping into once you make this juncture that is going to be the beginning of diving really deep into, it feels like a pursuit. It's like something that once you get a taste of it, once you get an experience of it, you thirst for more. You thirst for more. And your thirst is always satisfied when you go seeking the fulfillment of it with whatever this is. This could be a path of study. This could be a craft that you're taking up here. This could be a connection you're making. This could be somebody you're connecting with, and it's taking you to a really deep place within yourself. But there's something here that continues to pour into you, and it's taking you deeper on your journey. We have right here on the bottom of the deck, prayer coming on through. Something that was asked for, guidance through a particular transition, wanting to know, how do I navigate this? How do I get through this? How do I get to the other side? It was something you set up to the sky. You released it to the heavens. You may have had signs coming in from birds as messengers that were giving you some kind of clues about messages being received, but now there's going to be the proof that it is manifest in getting it rooted here through the bounty that's about to be grown upon this foundation you're laying at this time. You're receiving a gift of the earth here. Now, I want to see what these two cards are that came out. Look at this. It's beautiful. Making it to the top of the mountain, seeing, look at the birds coming in, signaling that the dawn is here. There's something that you have triumphed over. There's something that you were able to transcend. The way that you were able to transcend it, it's something that's like sheer poetry. It's like you have such a tale to tell by the time you reach the top of this mountain. There's something here with Queen of Fire and Father Fire, Fire family coming through here. That is just such a moment of being lit up in a way that it feels like the dreamer in you is stirred. It's almost like becoming the embodiment of the muse. It's almost like drawing down the muse. And instead of that just being within the realm of inspiration, your life is the inspiration. The path that opens up to you now is the inspiration. And there's, look at the body, the way that they are standing at the top of the mountain greeting the sunrise. They form gabo. So there's messages coming in around this. But what needs to happen first before this is seen is defenses need to fall away through the release of the mask, that which conceals. King of Water coming in here. The pre-shuffle in this deck, Joker of Sky, was present. So I know that we're absolutely getting a lot of synchronicities and spirit play is coming in here at this time. And that's why it's so essential that we ground out, that we really have the foundation in place, because this is a lot of depth and expansion coming in here. So let's get some more details. It's to get us properly oriented though with our North Node. And that's why it's the need to look at the self. What's needing to transform in the foundation? What do you need to do to strengthen the foundation right now? That's the first matter at hand. Look in terms of your body, also your environment, your daily habits. What do you need to do to strengthen the foundation? Because see, we got angels on the outfield here. And the prayer is answered. There is something that you sent up here that you're about to get confirmation of, a gift you are receiving that is materializing on earth. You could also encounter some earth angels. Some of you may feel like you have that lineage. You may feel that you are an earth angel. How do you know? Often earth angels have some kind of memory that really connects them with this particular assignment. I think ultimately all of us have the potential to play these roles or awaken to these roles. It's just a matter of timing. It's a matter of timing, as it often is when the angels come in. But you may feel like you feel called to be the protector of something, the steward of something, the guardian of something, whether that's animals or the earth itself or children or anything that you feel it's important for you to be a protector of, to be a voice for, to stand up for. This can be one way that it comes through. You may also find that you come into people's lives during times when they're going through great transition, a lot of upheaval. You may come in as a catalyst to sort of kick things off, to activate things. You also find you have a lot of unusual encounters, with strangers. And you know when you have these encounters with strangers that you're having actually an interaction with spirit. You may already cross paths a lot with other earth angels, okay? So it is something that I do feel that that potential is within everybody. I don't believe in this concept that it's only accessible to a chosen few. I don't believe that. If it's all one energy and there's all this unification, then the one consciousness at some point has the propensity through each individual consciousness to be accessed and tapped. So I think it's just really a matter of coming into this flow. But I do have this coming in for some of you. You may be having this kind of experience where it feels a little bit like touched by an angel, and like something transforms within you. You remember something about yourself. You remember something about yourself. And it could come through this musing energy. It has a part of you that you've hidden or you've held at bay, maybe because you've been concerned about others' judgment, ridicule, disbelief. There's something here where you allow your mask to fall away and you allow yourself to just really stand in your truth. And it brings a lot of beauty. I do think it marks a demarcation point, whatever this is that you're stepping into. It certainly feels like it's a calling. And it's something you have to go deeper into it, because the deeper you go into it, the more it nourishes you. It's really pouring into you here. And it does imply like there is some kind of work or discipline that's connected to it too. Just like you don't get to the summit to enjoy that view until you make the climb. And the climb can be arduous, right? But it also can be something that's really gratifying too. If you've ever hiked, if you've ever done a real intense hike, you know, there's those points where you're like, and you got to push through, right? You have to really get focused and you have to really harmonize with the land itself. You have to harmonize with the mountain. You have to really tap into the grounding, the strength of the mountain. You have to stay focused and really tune into your breath, come into that full sensual flow, that sensory awareness, really feeling the muscles in your body, engaging in your body in a different way. It becomes a meditation in motion. And then when you get to the top, there's this feeling of just elation and release, okay? There's something about this. Some of you may be experiencing the elation of release through healing emotionally, working with the land, working with the elements, taking your grief on a hike, taking it up the mountain, giving it over at the top, you know, this kind of energy. But there's something pouring into you here. It's really beautiful. But again, it's about walking away from something. Okay, what else do we have to see here? What else does the collective need to see here? What do we need to be aware of? It looks like there's a need for really connecting with the fire right now, because so much is coming through that focus, that awareness, that alertness, the readiness to act. It's like the water is there. The water is there, but there is some kind of action that needs to be taken to tap into the potential of the water, the potential nourishment of the water. Okay. Anything else that wants to come through? And then I'm going to do a cut of deck. Look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And I mean, the way it came out, it landed right on top of Yoni. So, I mean, I think this is the rebirth. This is the rebirth. Do you see? It turned upright. Alignment with the North Node. So beautiful. I love this deck. This is also one of my favorite decks to work with. This was gifted to me by one of the members here at BroadCoven, Star Tree Dancer. And it's just, it's a wonderful, wonderful deck. You're getting a compass here. You're getting a compass. You're really getting tapped in to your true path, your path of purpose at this time. It's so cool. And I think that when you see this path rise up for you, there's such a celebration of the gift of the shadow and what you're rising up out of now and everything it took to climb to get that view. That's what I really feel. This is when Sisyphus like pushes the boulder over the mountain and is like, no, I'm here, you know. There's something about the story of Sisyphus too that a lot of people don't recognize. They often just look at how Sisyphus was doomed to this eternal task of pushing this boulder up the mountain, only to have to end up right back at the start and do it all over again. But see, Sisyphus was challenged with doing that because he challenged the gods. He sort of thumbed his nose at fate. And so there's this quality of to live bold, to live big, to dream big. There's times that you do have to be tested. You have to reach for something deeper within yourself. That kind of purpose, that kind of resolve. And Sisyphus was ready to challenge what, you know, seemed to him counterbalancing to his particular destiny and the role he wanted to fulfill in the gift of his life. So there's something here coming through, the admiration of the resilience, the admiration of the willingness to keep climbing. I think there's something you have pursued persistently here. And there's something very revealing in that alone that gives you an answer. There's something you have persisted with here, despite odds, despite challenges, despite hardship, despite pains, despite losses. You have pursued something. You have persisted in something relentlessly. And because of that, it's the reward that's coming through. Messages of this on the horizon, it's coming through. Let me go ahead and do a cut of the deck and see if I feel called to bring anything else in here. Yeah. The sign comes from above that something's about to be rooted on earth. And this is a bit of that fetch energy. This is a bit of you fetching something out of that quantum field of multiplicity, and you're rooting it in material reality. You've laid the foundation for it. And this is the light building phase coming in here. So it really is about activating the fire at this time. Fire, action, aligning with the energy of the sun. Looks like there's a lot of lunar energy that's already been present. And if you've been feeling a little bit hazy or tired or groggy, it's because there's a need to bring in more of the solar influence to balance out that lunar essence. Then you'll be in a place of being able to alchemize the energies. And it looks like this is a bridge to bounty. You got to lay the foundation for it, though, to receive this well of nourishment and inspiration. Okay, I want to go ahead, and I do feel called to get around the Gilded Tarot with the Glow-in-the-Dark Tarot, just to look at some shadow light aspects here. Anything else that wants to come in around this? Yeah, it's time to stop moving like covertly or cloaked and being so blocked off. It's time, especially with the new moon coming in, to move into the solar phase. I know we got a solar eclipse coming up, so I wonder, is that new moon in Taurus going to be an eclipse? That would make sense. That would make sense. So maybe currently it's about sort of, it can be putting a strategy in place. You know, you might need to evoke a little bit of that discipline. You might need to make some plans about how you are going to go about laying down a foundation for the transformation you seek in your life. You can't just keep it all in this dreamy realm. I mean, laying down a proper foundation does require attention to detail. It does require some groundwork, doing some things in the physical, the practical. A lot of times people look for solutions to their challenges or look for guidance, assistance around how they can make their dream a reality. And they look at it more from an ethereal perspective, like looking for spiritual guidance, and that's great. But if you're looking to root something in material reality, always go to practicality. There's certain things that you have to do to make yourself ready to step into that, and really be honest with yourself about that, what you need to get established for yourself mentally. How do you need to get your head in the right place? How do you need to shift your consciousness in order to be able to step into your dreams? What do you need to shift about your day-to-day habits, your day-to-day practices to really align you with the correct energy to be able to step into what your dream would be? There's things that are going to have to change, because you can't be in a space where you're closed off, blocked off, if you're hoping to step into a dream. Unless your dream is to live the life of a hermit. Maybe you want to go and you want to retire at the top of a mountain and just spend your days in solitude, meditating on the rising and setting sun. I mean, and if that's the case, even in a case like that, there's still steps that need to be taken to put that foundation in place. There's practicality. So I think this is like kind of coming in as a focus for really anchoring that foundation so your dreams can become a possible, tangible confirmation, you know, of the initial inspiration. It's one thing to have an inspiration, but until there's some kind of rooted action taken, it's always sort of this fleeting thing. It's ephemeral, you know. There's nothing that really roots it in the ground of your being through preparing the ground to make it possible. So there's something about this really coming through strongly in relation to this energy. Oh, and with this card is flipped up in the middle of the deck. We have a Knight of Cups. Okay, so the opportunity to actualize the dream is going to come your way. Will you be ready? Will you be ready for it? You need to prepare the ground for this. Bottom of the deck. I mean, absolutely. There's something being offered here to fill your cup. We got Knight of Cups to King of Cups. It requires receptivity to receive what wants to come in here. It seems small. It starts out small. It becomes like the deepest well of Danu. All right? You will never thirst. I don't know what this is, but you will when it comes your way. We'll all understand what this is when this comes our way. And it comes quicker than we expect. Bottom of the deck here. All right, the issue at hand is there are quite a few questing out there. There's quite a few at odds to this alignment. Yes, everybody wants this. Everybody wants this. This could be others who have the same dream that you have, but they've lost sight of the collective vision. This is too much emphasis on the individual, not enough focus on how can this conflict turn to playful banter, spirited work among those who are fellow traveling companions to open up the road, to bring about new optimism, enthusiasm moving forward here. We have a Queen of Wands coming in with a Three of Swords. This is what's causing the suffering. This is what's causing the heartache, this inability to take action. The inability to take action. There's something that needs to be done to receive what you're hoping for here. And until the action is taken, it's sort of just creating these embattled places within the self. It's like this pressurized fire. And that pressurized fire can also create misfires, you know? It can create backfires. It can cause issues where there doesn't need to be issues, and this may be what's keeping one in a repeat cycle here. So as soon as an action is taken, the blocks can be removed. You can be freed from the sense of being held back and stuck in this pressurized state of conflict, maybe even being in an unresolvable argument with others, that you feel like you want to get free of this particular loop, but there's a lot of stubborn, stuck energy in regard to this. And so it feels like a binding. But the way to resolve that is to come to a place of integration with the loss, with the disappointment, do the deep healing work, put the focus on the self, and discover the fire that you do hold for transformation through that process. This, for a lot of you, this is around something from the past that you feel still chained to because you don't have answers and there's a lot that you don't know. And it's making you go cold and perhaps try to go and achieve knowledge of a matter through very sneaky, crafty means using power incorrectly, which doesn't allow you to move away from the energy, but it kind of keeps you looping in a repeat cycle. See, this covert energy of the High Priestess, not acting from a place of self-knowledge, but acting more from a place of egoic gratification with the star coming up in the shadow. This is all shadow energy. And it's not until this is transformed that illusion, confusion, delusion, in some cases fixation, can shift to the fulfillment that is possible, the transformation that is possible. I do feel like this will be transformed because we see here, you see this is all the energy that's coming in with the lunar energy, that poppy medicine. It's very much that energy of Elphaba. Sleep. Sleep. And you sleep so long that the treasure is lost. No investment is made. You can't just dream something into being. You can't just send up a prayer. You can't just cast your wishes upon the winds of fortune. You have to balance it out with tangible action if you hope to receive the harvest. And the true wealth is not just in what is received tangibly on a material level. It's also that medicine that comes through the lesson of Sisyphus. It is the value of the effort itself. It is the work of the road. It is the road work that is of value because of how it tempers you. When you are the one who's responsible for making that wheel of fortune turn. See, it's sort of like the fates are just kind of like hanging out, you know, checking out how you're going to achieve this task. How are you going to overcome these tricky tendencies within yourself that lock you up in loops of inability to transform, to shed the skin, to allow the scale to fall from your eyes, to stay caught up in the conundrum of the riddle rather than understanding that you have been the way through all along, freeing yourself from the false fears and the strategizing of the mind by being daring through taking an action is what leads to the sun. It's what leads to the happiness, and it leads to the closing of this old painful cycle. You see? Judgment, transformation is what comes through. Total renewal. It comes through action. It comes through using fire. So fire elemental is what you're being asked to utilize at this time. You're being asked to show that you can be the answer to your prayers through making a physical investment. Sometimes your action is the offering. It's not about sending up smoke. It's not about doing spiritual cleansing baths. It's not about holding your crystals and setting your intentions and chanting. It's about action. It's about letting your life be the offering itself 44:44 on the clock. That's what time it is, man. There's something about this. Something about this that needs to be paid attention to right now, because it is the way through. Is the way through. Okay, let me do a cut of the deck here. See what we got to cap this off. So again, we got the King of Pentacles here, you see? Feminine. Opening up to receive, but what's missing? The offer, the action. Okay? The action. All right? I see a lot of receptivity here. I see a lot of healing work's been done here. I see that the focus has been quite internal. It makes sense. With Virgo, the Hermit, having been down there in the South Node, that does really evoke within us this meticulous self-reflection, right? I mean, Virgo is quite meticulous. So this is thorough. You've been really focused on that, but there's a time to be in hermit mode, and then there's a time to move the energy externally. And that's what's really coming through right now. It's so essential. Let's see what's on the other side here. You got to arrive at a certain truth, though, first, to see through that illusion. What's behind this? Yeah. What needs to come to an end, right? You can't enter the rebirth cycle until you accept the ending of the old. Look at that. Wow. I mean, it couldn't be any clearer. And until that's done, there's no justice. There's no balance. But once the healing is done, the action is taken, you take the risk, even though you may feel like you don't know what's going to be coming at you. Look at that, Empress energy. The rebirth of Venus, the renewal comes through. Everything grows. Everything grows. You see? No need to strategize. No need to try to be sneaky about it. This isn't about cloaking the energy. This is about bringing your energy forward. That's the road work. Your work is meant to be external at this time. It's not about sitting, contemplating your navel, hibernating more. It's about actually getting active, working your path. It's really coming through very strongly. And this is what's going to align you with your North Node here. So pour out that last bit of self-reflection and start to move it into action. Because that's the only thing that's holding back the dawn. 47:44. 11:44 on the clock. That came through as a synchronicity for us. So that's the angels talking there. Maybe I should get one of those archangel cards. Should I get one of the archangel cards on that? I think so. I'm going to get one of those archangel cards, I think, to cap this off. And just let them input, since that came out like that. That synchronicity, that feels appropriate to me. And we'll just see what else they want to add on to this. So just looking at those colors of the poppies, where might we want to focus our chakra balancing work? I would say red, root chakra, Muladhara. That can be achieved through doing grounding work. So it really deals with your root issues, like your foundation, your family, your finances. So this is about really make the day-to-day material stuff secure, do what you can to strengthen that, to get, a nice solid foundation to build from. I think it's important because things are going to start picking up more rapidly here. With the color white, that is your crown chakra, Sahasrara. Clear out other people's projections, other people's opinions, other people's ideas. This is about you really clearing the channels so that you can be connected. You are the intermediary between creator and your life and how you choose to live it. So allow yourself to open up to your own guidance through that connection you share with however you relate to that creative force. Whether you relate to it as God or Goddess, or whether you relate to it as the world soul, or perhaps you relate it to your higher consciousness, however you connect with it, your Atman. Just allow that energy to be your guide. Start to trust your own intuition, your own sense of knowing how your soul is directing your moves. And trust that more, and that will really help to shift the energy too. And then orange is Svadhisthana, that is your sacral chakra. So this is about taking back your creative energy. This is about birthing new things. This is about also getting back in touch with your own sensuality. That may be especially important for those of you who have been separated or are choosing to be single, or you're on a celibacy journey for some of you. And in that case, you still have your own sensual energy. So this is allowing yourself to reclaim that. Also, just clearing out energetic attachments too. Okay. Just releasing everything from that chakra. And you can, of course, tune into sound baths for those chakras to support the work that's coming in here. There's many different methods for balancing out. I mean, the best thing I feel for Sahasrara crown chakra is meditation. You know, and you can do that supported by different hertz frequencies, but just spending time in nature. And I think it's lovely for crown chakra, if you're going to really connect in your meditations, really connect with the lunar essence. You can just envision it almost like the moon washing over its essence through your chakras, just letting it run through your chakras and just align you with that kind of receptive flow, illuminate kind of gently. It's a different kind of cleansing, okay? But there's many ways. There's many different means. And I would say with Svadhisthana, getting creative, getting in touch with your creativity is a wonderful way to tap into your sacral chakra. Also opening up to moving your body, especially getting the hips moving. You know, maybe do a little hip opening. Yoga can be beneficial as well. So just start to explore on that level a little bit and see what comes through there for you. Okay, final guidance, archangels for us here, bottom of the deck. Wow, the star, okay? And there's Archangel Jophiel. She came in recently, so wow, that's really cool. Says a dream is about to come true. So believe in yourself, okay? Trust yourself. To your own self be true. And just know that you're at the end of a difficult situation. So there's one last bit of something you are releasing here. You know, finish pouring out those waters, because already the light is building up ahead. That's coming through pretty strongly. And Archangel Jophiel helps you root those heavenly qualities down on earth. So you can have a little bit of heaven on earth. Oh, baby, do you know what that's worth? I think you're about to find out, okay? All right, any other guidance, angels, you want to give? I'll do one more round, and then I'm going to do a cut of the deck just to cap this off. Okay, I got something coming out there. All right, let's see. It is kind of coming out of the cross position, but this is that Knight of Cups energy. So there is something coming towards you, right? Or you're coming towards something. But whatever this is that's coming in, it's going to stir your heart, okay? And this word poetic is coming in again. So I find that fascinating. right? Something is a bit of poetry, the way it unfolds in your life. This can be something that really does sweep you off your feet. It awakens, to me, this is a quality that awakens the bardic spirit, you know, it inspires. Something will be your muse, or you could be someone's muse, or something, someone will be your muse. You know, there's this musing quality. There's something that comes in, it enters in a romantic flow. It may be a little dramatic, but it's dramatic in the best way. It's more like the culmination of a story and the surprise twist, and it's better than you thought it would be. This can be a time of commitment in romantic relationships, commitment that comes through something that's been a real sense of devotion to the connection through very difficult times, and really doing the work, not giving up on each other. And this can be a transforming quality in relationships. There's also something here that it's like, I got butterflies, you know, butterflies in the belly, butterflies in the heart. It's a butterfly effect. Like something here gives you that kind of feeling like life is stirring in me again. I feel excited. And that butterfly medicine was already kind of indicative, even with the poppy medicine coming in here, because with those colors come in, butterfly works through colors in terms of stages of transformation. Ah, okay. So pay attention to this for that butterfly medicine to come in. That's interesting. Now it came in with the Knight of Raphael. So that is like that watery energy, the cups energy. This could be connected to butterfly clan, could be connected to air sign energy too, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could involve communication, something that inspires, all right? But there's also something here about the stages of transformation. So remember, there's different stages of metamorphosis that come in with the butterfly medicine, but they also communicate through colors as well that help you understand maybe where transformation is needed or provide certain clues. But since this is coming in with the poppy and antelope message, I do feel like where you're noticing a lot of white, that's giving you a clue about something that is coming to a close, something that is ready to be released, something is ready to be transformed, but in a respectful way, something that closes it up with a sense of reverence. And where you're seeing red, that is something that's really giving you a call about a dream or some type of action that needs to be taken to root that dream in material reality. It's something that's ready to be grounded in your reality, but it requires that red quality, which makes me think of Aries, the first house, and Aries is hosting Neptune right now, and Neptune is very much associated with the poppy medicine. So there's something about this dream is possible, but you do have to bring forward your fire in order to make it happen through taking some kind of action here, even if it's accepting an offer coming your way, right? There's an action you need to take. And where you're seeing the color orange, this is letting you know that this is the awakening of the birth of this. It's the awakening of the creative cycle. So pay attention. There's something there that's speaking of imminent success, all right? So that can let you know like the stages of transformation you're moving through with that butterfly medicine. Yeah, because there's absolutely something coming to a close here. But it's meant to be closed in a respectful way. It's meant to be closed with grace, with the swans there. There's also something here about wanting to close it up in such a way where it feels like respectful. You know, we bow also when we're paying respect to other people. And it's also respect toward ourselves for the experience. There is a situation that's ended, and you are getting free of this. You are being released from it. but it is paving the way for new opportunities that are about to come in here. And these opportunities are going to lift the spirits. They're things that you're going to be celebrating. And there's going to be more of these. But there is something that needs to be put behind you to really embrace what's up ahead. 59:55 on the clock. Wow, double temperance energy coming in with the Wheel of Fortune. That's Sagittarian energy, 9th house energy. This is to move you into greater expansion. But there has to be like the turning of the page and a more philosophical view about something so this expansion is possible. Let's do a cut of the deck and see what we got. But I like it because it looks like the action will be taken. We got Ace of Ariel here. That's that Ace of Pentacles energy. So something is about to be received here, and it is coming in association with the spring season. So before summertime, before summer solstice, June 21st, something is going to tangibly show up in your reality. You're going to know what this is, but it does require you to act on it. Whatever this is, it brings luck and new resources. New resources, I feel, that make a dream possible. New financial support, money coming in, time freed up so you can focus it in the correct way. Also, other tangible forms of support that actually make your dream possible. And it's because the foundation is there. This is some kind of change in your work too. And also on more of an esoteric level, you're receiving some kind of promotion here. So some of you may be getting your wings, all right? And here's the healing. Here's the healing on the other side. Your ship's coming in. Something to celebrate here. You resisted the siren's call. Something's been transformed, and there's a reason to celebrate. There's also coming together with fellow traveling companions, those that are meant to share the road with you as you seek the treasures up ahead. And there's some positive announcements that are going to be made, and perhaps around a key relationship, some kind of partnership coming in here. So all of that looks really good. All right. I hope you got something of value out of that. And I just felt really strongly called to get a general energy read. I like how it expanded off of what came in with the portal report last night. So I'll go ahead and add a card to that here. So you can check that out if you haven't and spot those connection points yourself. And you know what I say, Godspeed. We're all going to get there.